Welcome back to another review, this time for the anime Fate Strange Fake, which had 13 episodes and was airing in winter of 2026. Synopsis on any list. In a Holy Grail war, mages, masters, and their heroic spirits, servants, fight for the control of the Holy Grail, an omnipotent wish-granting device said to fulfill any desire. Years have passed since then the end of the First Holy Grail War in Japan. Now, signs portend the emergence of a new Holy Grail in the Western American city of Snowfield. Sure enough, masters and servants begin together. A missing servant class, impossible servant summonings, a nation shrouded in secrecy, and a city created as a battleground. In the face of such irregularities, the Holy Grail War is twisted and driven into the depths of madness. Let the curtain rise on a masquerade of humans and heroes, made to dance upon the stage of a false Holy Grail. This is the Holy Grail War covered in lies. Now, this one is interesting for me. I do not have much experience in Fate. I watched the Fate series like 15 years ago or so. And since then I'm mostly blind to Fate. It is just a very dense series, or, to get into because of all the different shows and the different spin-offs, and you don't know which one you should start with. I was checking beforehand online, hey, can I watch this? Can I start watching this? And some people were like, yeah, sure, go watch it. And some people were like, no, you need to watch this and this. And if you go and check if you can watch those, then another person is going, yeah, no, you need to watch this and this. It never ends. It just is a very dense topic. I decided to just jump in. And I'm not disappointed. This is a fantastic show. It has insane animation. It has really cool characters. It has a really cool concept. Apart from the Holy Grail War, the idea behind this one is really interesting. It brings up a lot of questions. It is just a really fantastic show. You see some matchups which are really exciting. Stuff is happening so quick. The only problem for me is that there's so much happening, it is hard to keep track. At some point, as I was, reminding myself of what happened, what I got introduced to, I got like so many things are happening and referenced where I'm like, oh, now not everything is important. I can imagine a lot of those are like little homages to other shows and knowledge for the viewer that is not necessarily important for you at this point, at least. But I got overwhelmed a bit, at least for the miscellaneous stuff outside, because the story itself I had no problem following so far. And again, the characters are really, really cool. I can't really go too much into it because spoiler. So, what else? I mean, soundtrack, awesome. Voice acting is always A tier. It's Japan. They have nailed that. I would just say, let's go into ratings, then I can go into some spoilery stuff. I enjoy my time. AniList has it at 83%. My anime list at 8.5. For me, it is an easy 9 out of 10. Mostly because I don't know if I could just recommend this to anyone, just randomly, because it is really dense. Really, really dense. I mean, I feel like you need some more background information to really get behind some of the nuances in the show, which I am missing. I mean, we we even see the tower, and it's like, I know a little bit, tiny bit about the tower, but I'm mostly clueless. So, as an example. Now, let's go into some spoiler just a little bit. I just want to talk a little bit about stuff. So, I mean, we get all these characters, and again, spoiler, the idea here, we have a fake Grail War, not a real one, and it is in America because they made it sound like the real Grail War is only allowed in Japan, which is interesting. But this one is in America. And this fake Holy Grail War, it summons they have servants summoned, but they are not able to summon Saber, I believe it was. So they can only summon 6 classes. Now what they did, again spoiler, behind or under this fake war, they were able to start a real Holy Grail War, which is really interesting. That means you not only have the 6 classes, you also have these 7 additional for the real Grail War, which means you have like 13 at least that are fighting, which is insane because you get a bunch of characters naturally with so many taking part in. Again, spoiler, we have Gilgamesh back. I mean, you need Gilgamesh. He's like, it's like if you think about a character in Fate, it's like Gilgamesh or Saber. Those are the 2 that come to mind. We also get to see some other characters. We see some kind of Saber. We see some very interesting characters. And this is also where a lot of my fun came in, trying to figure out which of these historical figures these characters represent. That was quite fun to try out. It is really interesting which characters they chose, and it does make sense what they did, but there are so many crazy characters. We have Heracles, we have the Traitor Queen, which I never heard of. Now I know. We also have another character that is interesting. We have some, because Gilgamesh is always very at the top of the fighting strengths. It was really interesting to see how this all unfolded. We have an old friend of Gilgamesh also in the show, and it is really, really interesting with all of these characters taking part. And there seems to also be some other goal, because we have America, they wanted to try to start a Holy Grail War. Then we have another character, Francesca, who is working with America, but she wants something else. She wants to defile or something, or play around with the Holy Grail itself, which is interesting. That means that there's like a being or an object you can physically touch or whatever, which I had no idea. And this is where all the nuances come from. We have the puppets, the silver-haired ones, where I'm like, okay, somewhat understand where they come from, but I don't really have the big information. We have the tower, we have the dead apostles, which is like out of nowhere, that gets followed up by like the 27 vampire lords, and it's like, sure. And it's so much stuff that gets thrown at you, which is, it's quite a bit. I mean, this, apart from all the phantasm, I mean, we see Gilgamesh on a freaking spaceship, which was insane. There is still quite a bit. We have the whole thing with Ayaka going, which is weird. We have the whole thing with Tsubaki going, which is, it seems to have more going on. We also have a little bit of a flashback to one of the other Holy Grail Wars which is like a little bit of a homage, but it makes sense story-wise. There's so much going on. So much going on. But that's enough. Yep, enough. It was very enjoyable. Definitely going to wait for season 2 whenever that one comes out. I also don't know how many seasons this one is going to have. I read that some people were like, oh, this could be like 3-4 seasons. We will have to see.